Congratulations to all of you who are graduating from the International Education Policy Program. I share your joy today, mindful of the significance of this moment in your lives and in your professional careers. There are 4 reasons this graduation, your graduation, is especially meaningful to all of us. The first reason, you are members of the last cohort of students admitted to the International Education Policy Program. As you know, this program, established 20 years ago, is no longer a program available to future incoming students to the school. Creating and leading this program has been one of the greatest sources of joy in my life. Knowing the wonderful work that the graduates of this program, since the very first class 20 years ago, do in advancing educational opportunity around the world gives me deep satisfaction. This wonderful community, which you join today, leads a global education movement to provide all children opportunities to become architects of their own lives and contributing members of their communities who can collaborate with others in improving the world. And as the sun sets on this program on Appian Way, all of you who graduated from this program, this powerful community of change makers, will continue to do the important work of making the world better through education. I am so glad that you were able, as the last class of students in the program, to join this community. The second reason this year will be memorable is because the pain and loss inflicted on the world by the COVID-19 pandemic. More than 3 million lives lost to this plague, each one of them impacting at least 9 other members of those families in ways that will last for years to come. The education crisis created by the pandemic has altered the educational opportunities, the trajectories, and the future life opportunities of millions of students the world over. Students around the world have been set back several grade levels. Many have dropped out, not to return. And as a result, decades of global education progress have been wiped out just in 1 year. The pain and this loss will mark your future careers in many ways. The third reason this year will be memorable is because of the resiliency and the commitment that you have demonstrated. That in the midst of this global calamity, you persevere in the important task of preparing yourself to expand education for others. That in spite of the challenges affecting your lives and our ability to come together in person as a community, you nevertheless persisted, will cause me to remember you all with admiration, your resiliency, your persistence, for as long as I have memory. The fourth reason this year will be memorable is because you graduate to take your place in leading the global education movement at a time when this leadership is critical. The challenges caused by the pandemic can only be addressed if people with your skills, with your resolve, with your commitment, choose to take them on. And take them on you will, I know. So let me remind you of some of the challenges in need of your good leadership and suggest also some of the possibilities. There are at least 5 ways in which this pandemic will influence education in the foreseeable future. It will cause a new austerity in public spending in education, the result of demands caused by the health crisis and by the recession. It will cause austerity in households, especially those of the most vulnerable, who have been those most impacted by the pandemic. The lives lost will continue to impact the relatives who survive for some time to come. The interruption of schooling caused many children to regress in their skills and knowledge and caused many of them to disengage with school and perhaps to drop out. And the pandemic and its aftermath will have a multiplier effect on a number of pre-existing challenges. Those were education challenges because schools, let's face it, we're not doing a great job educating each child to learn the skills they need for a world that is changing rapidly. There were also challenges in social inclusion and inequality, challenges in inclusive economic competitiveness, challenges of social fragmentation and violence, challenges of democratic governance and climate change. Now, those challenges are the very same challenges that the United Nations Development Goals propose the solution to. Advancing towards the achievement of those goals has never been more necessary and more important. But that advancement will only result if you step up to lead. Now, there are perhaps some silver linings that this pandemic has given the field of education. As a result of the difficulties in trying to educate during this period, we have all learned that no one learns very much when they are in fear, that the only way to educate is to see our students as whole human beings, that to educate their mind, we need to help them develop their emotions, their self-knowledge, and their social skills. We have learned that to educate well, we need to think clearly about what purposes matter, and that the ethical development of our students is essential if they are indeed going to be able to build a better world at a time of great need. We have learned that one of the most important things we can do as educators is to help our students develop a sense of purpose and the capacity to learn independently and to manage themselves and their own learning so they can become lifelong learners. The pandemic has also taught us that we need to think broadly about the skills that matter, that just as knowledge is crucial, so are resiliency and perseverance and creativity and empathy and the capacity to treat others in ways that lead to productive collaboration. We have learned that to support the development of such breadth of skills, schools need high-quality curriculum and well-supported teachers who are capable of leading deeper learning, where students learn from their experience as they engage in challenging problems and projects. We have also learned that no two students are alike, and that good teaching meets each student where they are and supports each person to achieve the goals they set for themselves. The pandemic has taught us that we need to think differently about the teaching profession, that to produce powerful learning, we have to make it possible for teachers to work in teams and to collaborate, and that we need to have schools that can innovate and that can also learn. The pandemic has also made visible how important collaboration and partnerships are, and the crucial importance of good leadership to steer these institutions so they can prepare all students to build a better future. Now, to realize those silver linings, to take these lessons learned during the pandemic and act on them to transform all schools around the world into institutions that truly give each student the opportunity to take charge of their lives and to build a better future, we need each and every one of you. We need your leadership. We need your commitment. So I am grateful for that commitment on your part to that task, and I'm grateful for the privilege to have taught you. I am reassured to know that in the midst of all these challenges of the world, you will do all in your power to build an education renaissance out of the ashes left by this pandemic. So members of the class of graduates of the International Education Policy of 2021, I salute you. And now, the graduates of the International Education Policy Program. The Intellectual Contribution Award recipient for the International Education Policy Program is Catherine Pitcher. Zaina Adamo. Eva G. Arango. Andrew Armstrong. Francisco Barajas. Amreen Shejia Bashir. Philip Bell. Said Bilani. Hetty Byrne. Claire Chadwick.
Yiva Sheng, Suma Sharu, Tala Sise, Blancefleur Kudenis, Jana Kunyon, John Davies, Bethany Deal, Ebtehal El Gambrawai, Yizu Gao, Laura Golake, Clarissa Jaslyn Gunawan, Risha Gupta, Raimundo Pineda Gutierrez, Yu Hao, Aruj Navid Haq, Jamie Horner, Mohammed Hussein, Fei Fei Hua, Riley Jacobs, Yung Wang John, Varaitso Kativo, Charles R. Kenyon, N. Vin Lee, Yi Ling Lee, Mona Malin, Daniel Alejandro Martínez García, Opelo Matome, Maurice Macaulay, Ida Mohajeri, Samantha Rose Monroe, Mary Nagel, Talib Farouk Nur Muhammad, Oyetayo Omotosho, Stephanie Ovid, Arcadia Payne, Sarah Pemberton, Zijing Shaw, Tommy Tang, Amelia Thompson, Eliha Hashimoto Tomita, Kim Tragesser, Revanth Vuthaluro, Yixing Wang, Yuan Zhao. Yingyi Zong. And the Marshal for the International Education Policy Program is Prachi Narang.
So please join me in congratulating the class of 2021 of graduates of the International Education Policy Program who joined the leaders of the global education movement.